My name is Lyda Ann Thomas from Galveston, Texas, former mayor, and I am representing myself and the citizens in general. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today, and I'm here to speak to you about the use of highway digital signage to provide vital information to citizens in the midst of evacuation and re-entry occasioned by disaster and dislocation. I will frame my remarks within the context of lessons learned as mayor of the city of Galveston, first from Hurricane Rita in 2005 and then Hurricane Ike in 2008, when I felt obliged to call upon Galvestonians to undertake their first mandatory evacuation to escape a storm predicted to be more catastrophic than Katrina and headed directly for Galveston. When we in Galveston looked at New Orleans after Katrina, we realized that New Orleans looked exactly like Galveston did after the 1900 storm, which killed 8,000 to 10,000 people. The evacuation for Rita went smoothly until our citizens reached the outskirts of Houston and found themselves bogged down in what became the nation's most disastrous traffic jam yet experienced. And I'm sure that Senator Ellis may be able to discuss those details with you at some point. There was no consistent, clear communication between the various counties along the coast who were hit or about to be hit by Rita. Now, Rita didn't come to Galveston at the last minute, but in anticipation of that arrival, we did call for a mandatory evacuation. Many in our buses, without air conditioning or restrooms because we had to use school buses, accompanied by their pets, which in itself was a formidable task. We learned that people will not leave if they cannot take their pets. So they took their pets. And I won't go into the details of that, but it was quite an undertaking. We did put people on buses and thought they were happily seated when one lady or two would say, well, golly, I'm allergic to cats. We had the cats on board. Everybody had to get off. The people stayed on the buses. We figured out a way to put the cats and dogs in other transportation. This was all in anticipation of a 3-hour journey to their destination, which they thought was Huntsville. Vehicles stalled, overheated, ran out of gas, and became roadblocks themselves. Children grew restless, their parents and grandparents grew frazzled. Tempers rose to a road rage level. A few of our elderly citizens died en route. One bus of nursing home evacuees exploded, killing a number aboard. All of this tragedy and near tragedy could have been avoided or greatly alleviated had there been active signage along the evacuation routes indicating possible alternative routes and where water, gas, food, hospitals, and relief of various sorts could be attained. In the case of Hurricane Ike, these signs would have been helpful in keeping citizens informed, alerting them of re-entry requirements, scheduling and controlling the flow of traffic. The state emergency management system has learned these lessons and applied them in its positioning of fuel supply. State emergency and water. Improved signage is a cost-effective measure that will expedite transit and save lives. In closing, I would like to leave you with food for thought. Remember that people are in a state of panic when they are evacuating their homes. A real-time, integrated, and coordinated communication system is key to saving lives. Clear, specific instructions to citizens help our citizens feel safer and more confident as they leave home. The state of Texas and you, its elected officials, are charged with saving lives in the event of a disaster. The better the communication tool, the more lives you help to save. Thank you very much.